15th. Here's pollination with Brailley. And we got a very fertile tree here. It's a maple tree. And I can see at least 3 different types of mushrooms that are growing from it. So the first one, and the most obvious one, these ones might look like little oyster mushrooms. They're called oysterlings. But you don't want to eat them. They're kind of a look-alike. They're a lot smaller and they have brown gills instead of white ones. And they're pretty toxic. They'll give you a stomach ache. Oh, there's a cool spider here too. Hang on. Let me get a shot of it. And it's a very fertile tree, so there's more oysterlings up there. And some more on the other side. But here's the second type of mushroom that we found. Let me take a closer look at it because I don't know exactly what it is. It's got a yellow top and very tiny gills on the bottom. This is actually the elegant polypore or Polyporus varius. I know I accidentally said that there's small gills. I actually meant to say that there's pores. Very small white pores that are pretty difficult to see on the camera actually. So this, I know I said it was a very fertile tree, and the reason why is probably because it's dying. The elegant polypore only grows on dead or dying trees. So yeah, those are some characteristics of the elegant polypore. Also, they have a fruity odor, and this one's a very young specimen. As they get older, they'll grow a black outer layer on the stem, which is why it's also called a black-footed polypore. But right now, it doesn't have a black foot on it. And the third one is probably feeding on the roots of the same tree. Some kind of deer mushroom. Let me take a look at it. I think it's a, wait. No, it's not. Yeah, this is a rooting. I didn't get the full root, but this is the rooting shank or Oudemansiella radicata. It has a brown cap with white gills, and the stem goes deep into the dirt. So if you keep digging, you'll find the stem goes deep down. I have a few different cool spiders to showcase. Here's the web of a funnel weaver. It's a big horizontal web. You see this huge network all across the different plants. And right in the middle, there's a little funnel, and there's a tiny little spider for all that huge web, sitting there sensing vibrations, waiting for its prey to come. Here's another example of a funnel weaver. This one I got a better shot of. You can see that they're pretty shy spiders, and they're harmless to humans. They kind of just hang out in the protection of their web and wait for prey to come. And feel the vibrations coming from oncoming predators too. Their web isn't sticky, but they can run fast, as you can see, to catch their prey. There are some spiders that even take care of their own babies. One quintessential example of this is the wolf spider, pictured here. Wolf spiders are hunting spiders, so they don't spin webs. They just kind of hang out looking for food, which means that when their babies hatch, the only place for her to keep them is on her back. So she's got hundreds of babies riding on her back right now, and she's going to carry them around and feed them and keep them safe until they become adults. This is a pretty unique feature of wolf spiders. And I've heard that wolf spiders actually have a pretty nasty bite, so it's a pretty risky business taking care or getting this close to a mother wolf spider protecting her babies. But fortunately, I still can say that I do not know what a wolf spider bite feels like. Once the babies get big enough, they'll just go off on their own, and they'll be solitary spiders and not interact with their mother ever again. But this is something that the mother spider does to increase her baby's chances of survival, and she also carries the egg sac around with her before they hatch, and she hunts. So this is an example of motherhood within the spider world, the wolf spider unique, that they carry their babies on their back or their abdomen. This here is another large brown spider that might be confused with a wolf spider, but you could tell the difference because it actually has a web. This is a type of nursery web spider, and instead of carrying them on her back, she doesn't need to do that since she has a web. She just makes a little tent for her babies to hatch into and guards them in that little cluster. So the thing over to the left is probably their hatched eggs, and then before they hatched, she probably built a little tent for them to stay in, and she just stands there and guards her babies. So this is some examples of motherhood in the spider world. The nursery web spider and the wolf spider are both great mothers. Alright, enough about spiders. Here's an American bullfrog that's going through puberty. American bullfrogs have actually a very long tadpole stage. This one's probably been a tadpole since last summer, and they just stay tadpoles for a whole year, and then the next summer they start to grow legs, and then right after that they're going to start growing front arms and absorbing their tail. This one's already probably got some lungs and is breathing air, and he's transitioning from eating plants as a tadpole to now eating insects. Over here we have these little pearls. These are raspberry slime molds. They're a very large single-celled organism, and these are their fruiting bodies. So a good way to tell the difference between a mushroom and a slime mold, since these are single-celled organisms, they just have one huge cell wall with cytoplasm inside. So it's not going to be very strong. So if you touch it just a little bit, it will get destroyed. But mushrooms have a little bit more integrity. So that's one way to tell the difference between a slime mold and a fungus. Over here we have this small funnel-shaped mushroom called Cotylidia diaphana. It has a very thin cap, funnel shape, sometimes with little striations in it, and the underside has no gills or pores at all. It looks almost like as if a regular type of mushroom had gotten all of its outer surface eaten by a slug to me. Like how the top side is very thin and kind of ruffly, and the underside has no gills. It's almost like, the outer layer has been removed. But this is actually just its own fungus called Cotylidia diaphana, and it's similar to the false turkey tail and other crust fungus species in that it has no pores or gills. There's just little cystidia that are on the underside that release the spores. So this is Cotylidia diaphana. So today we got a nice diverse group of stuff that I found this summer, including a couple of different mushrooms, slime mold, and some spiders. I don't really know much about spiders, so this is kind of a venturing into new territory for me. So we'll see if I feature some more spiders in the future. So yeah, if you want to see more about nature, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.